Hey everyone, welcome back to Magic Rising for some plant magic. Okay, so today's very special because I'm going to be planting a peach seed that I had germinated that took months of a process to go through. When I started the process, I had cracked open the peach seed itself, the little shell that goes around the peach seed, and there's a little tiny seed inside. And so I took that, and it was covered in like a dark brown coating as well. And I just threw it in a damp paper towel, and then I threw it in the fridge for months, I think. I forgot about it, so it might have been like 3 months, 4 months. Anyway, after that, I had taken it out of the fridge and wanted to see if it would germinate. And so I scraped off, it's just like kind of like an avocado seed where it just has that soft brown coating over the actual meaty seed. And so I scraped all that off, just my fingernail, that's all I needed to use. And then I put that in a damp paper towel and I put it in a container I use whenever I want to germinate seeds. And so it's just a closed container. Well, I can show you. So this is a container that I use when I want seeds to germinate, whether it's vegetable seeds or obviously in this case, a peach seed. So in here right now, I have some alocasia pods that I found whenever I had split this one with its other thing that was in there, but some little pods dropped out. So I decided to plant them and hopefully they become little alocasia plants. And so all I did was I put it in a little plastic bag with wet paper towel. And this one actually has a mango seed in it too that I was propagating. And so let's take a look at both of those anyways. So here's the mango seed that I have, and oh my God. So I honestly checked this out 2 days ago and this was not a thing. And so I'm very excited to see this. So I guess I'll have to plant that as well. On the subject of mango seeds though, I also tried to get roots to develop in a water-based, and then after that I had planted it in a container, and I'm not sure how this one's gonna do, but I have it also in like a warm environment. The root is below the surface, and then it's an experiment, okay? And this is the peach seed. Look at that growth, that's insane. That's crazy. So this dude is ready to be planted, so let's get going. Okay, peach seed time. So I'm using citrus cactus potting mix that I got Miracle-Gro. I don't know. It's the same that I ended up using when I replanted my avocado, which I have in another video. But yeah, so step one is obviously to fill this dude up. I try to get rid of the big sticks, especially when you're using potting mix for a very young baby. And then tamp it down a little bit just to make sure there's less chance of bubbles and air in the soil. You still want it a little bit loose though, so don't tamp it down too much. Now it's time to insert this little dude. So one thing I will say is I had reached out to a plant group on Facebook to kind of ask, because I couldn't find it online, how to plant these. Because there were like, you have these little petal things, and then do I plant the whole thing, or they said plant it up to the root line. So that's what I'm going to do. Make a little hole here. And they said just to leave these little seed petals, and this is just like the seed that came like, or that this emerged from. So it probably won't need it now that it's developing leaves so fast. So I'll just leave those planted above the soil. All right, here we go. So I'm just gonna hold the petal parts as I fill it around. I want the roots to be solidly planted and firm. And so I'm trying to not stress the roots, but definitely get them in a good spot. All right, so it is planted. It's leaning one way, but that's because obviously it hasn't reached any light or anything, and so it's just been growing how it would in the paper towel. But yeah, so now we need water because it's used to that water in damp environment, and the roots need water. So water time. Handy dandy elephant watering can. I know I love all my watering cans that I ordered online. So you want to give it a good watering, just so it can kind of like remove any air pockets, kind of wait until it runs out the bottom, and then you should be good to go. This is a pretty fast draining soil potting mix, so that's good. And so when you water in after you transplant or plant something with new roots especially, the water helps make sure that the roots have contact with the moist soil, as opposed to air pockets being around there from just kind of filling it in with potting mix. It looks pretty firmly planted. And so the person that commented and helped me out from the Facebook gardening group, she had mentioned that that it could stay in a small pot as a seedling for quite some time. And obviously I'll look for the roots, and if it does become a point where I need to transplant it, I've got tons of containers just from my recent purchases and everything, and replanting them from their nursery containers. And so that'll be no problem at all. But you want to watch for the roots, obviously. If it outgrows its home, you need to give it a new one. Okay, so little plant baby, so excited. Little peach tree, hopefully growing. Now, I don't think I'm gonna get any fruit from this ever, even so it would be like years down the road. But I just think it's fun to grow things and see what you can do, especially with this plant magic atmosphere that I'm trying to create, and making just my magical practices combined with my love for plants. Regardless if it's something as simple as like a cucumber plant, or if it's a peach seed, it helps me and makes me happy. So if it makes you happy and it gives you a sense of just calm and serenity, then do it, especially in these times we're in right now. And so I will be keeping an eye on this, and my partner's gonna have to put up with me bringing plants back and forth, but yeah, my little peach seed. Okay, thank you so much for stopping by Magic Rising for some plant magic today. And I guess pretty soon after, I'm gonna post a video about planting the mango seed. There's at the top, there's a little bit of new growth. It's so exciting.